Ian, you're the president of Birmingham's Trades Union Council that represents most of the trade unions within the city. The current corona crisis has created an unprecedented situation for the unions and their members, and many of these unions are affiliated to the Trades Council. The government has started to bring us out of the lockdown, and many of your affiliates think it may be too soon and not enough measures are in place to make workplaces safer. What is your view?
Well, first of all, look at the government today. Number 10 Downing Street announced they're still at level 4 on the coronavirus crisis. Today, we've also had 1 million school children stay at home due to parent boycotts, campaign actions, trade union activity as well. So, what this government has done is far too soon, far too immature, far too ill prepared, and people are not accepting what they're being told by this government. And it's thanks to campaign groups and trade union pressure that school children are now largely staying at home, 1 million of them.
The coronavirus crisis could create a deficit of around 337 billion, which is twice the size of the deficit 2009-2010 banking crisis created. The severe austerity that followed the banking crisis and measures that were taken meant there were cuts to some of our major services and to workers' wages. What do you think is going to be the impact if the government used austerity as a means of reducing the deficit the corona crisis has created? Has the BTUC any plans to prepare for such a scenario?
Well, first of all, for this government, we're going to get more of the same. There'll be far more austerity, far more cutbacks, far more privatisations, far more sell-offs, far more cuts in terms and conditions and wages. Therefore, in future, we can expect a savage series of cuts to our living standards in order to pay off the crisis that we have had on the COVID-19, which in some ways is worse, as you pointed out, than the bankers' crisis a few years earlier. So we, the working people, are going to pay for this, whether we like it or not. That is unless we get organised. That's why we need, as a trades council, the other trades councils and trade union bodies and campaigning organisations to work on a strategy to get ourselves organised to prepare to fight these cuts. But don't forget, women will suffer worst of all in these cuts because of the terms and conditions, the rates of pay, the hours of working. Also, with privatisations and what have you, that'll lead to wage cuts and reductions in terms and conditions and pension cuts. Privatisations, by that I mean selling off public assets to pay for the corona crisis and into private hands. And that will continue. And this will give the government the excuse to do so. This is where we are. So yes, we have got to get organised. We've got to be streetwise on this one, and we need to get a plan in place in order to fight these cuts. And by that I do mean we need to get out and about and liaise with other groups and organisations, particularly all those in Birmingham, to organise a strategy, a campaigning strategy to fight the cuts. And make no mistake, irrespective of what type of council we have got, these cuts will come and they will continue. So let's be under no illusions about that. Okay.
What are the immediate steps the BTUC has taken towards preparing for such a scenario?
Well, we've already got campaigning groups. We've got Birmingham Against the Cuts, Keep Our National Health Public. There are two adjuncts to the Trades Council. We have liaison with the climate action groups and various other campaigning groups. Therefore, these are the people we need to get in contact with and arrange meetings with to formulate strategies, all in all, to fight the cuts. We've got the libraries campaign, schools campaigns. We've got old people health cuts in old people's homes, what have you. There's a whole range of cuts which are forthcoming, and obviously we need to get organisations on board to identify all these cuts that are going to occur and fight them, expose them and fight them, and get people on board, the public at large as well, in order to make sure that our strategies, campaigning strategies, all in all, are going to be successful.
I think the first of the events that the Trades Council is planning is actually a meeting of delegates that will see has invited leading economists to talk about the economic impact of this of the coronavirus crisis, and he will be speaking to the Trades Council on the 4th of June between 7 p.m. and 8:30. So if people can join us, that will be the first of the meetings that will take place on this, and then others will follow later on. So Ian, thank you very much.